Tawnie. Okay, there we go. There we go. No internet problems today, y'all. How y'all doing?
Shalom. We did it.
How are you feeling?
I am, I'm feeling really good, but also just like really tired.
Really tired and but
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. What about you? How's
I'm
everybody?
feeling good.
Let
I'm
us
feeling
know.
good. So, you know that always when we ask how you're feeling, it always jumps us into our conversation, guys. So if you joined us last week, we have a few topics. We're talking about feeling good and looking good at the same time with trying to portray this smile, even though our body is going through all of these things that we don't always talk about, guys. So that's what we're going to bring this conversation. We're going to continue what we were talking about last week. And y'all know I'm trying to operate both to make sure we're in all of the camera views. So we're going to talk about that whole thing with feeling good, looking good, in spite of our invisible disabilities, and just trying to be able to operate life as stroke survivors, as warriors, being advocates for myself and Tawnie, and then just trying to make sure we portray ways to live and love life the best post-stroke in, just this beautiful life that the Lord has blessed us with after becoming warriors, y'all. So that's what this is about. I totally got. So we have a few. So we're going to touch base on topics there, and then the conversation that if you didn't see the other video that we talked about with this healthcare as stroke survivors, why the fight is so prevalent, as so many people say, hey, well, you had a stroke, you must not have had a big stroke because it doesn't look like you have a disability. I can't see your disability. Or say, for instance, you may see another person whose disability is more prevalent. You say maybe you got more care, but guess what, guys? The reality is we're possibly not all getting the care that we need. We're just trying to maintain life as much as possible and still with the smile. So I wanted to throw all those topics out there. So if you jump in here and say, oh, what are they talking about today? We're talking about everything with trying to fight to get the insurance, to get the proper care that we need, and trying to still live and smile, guys, in spite of the pains and the different things that we're suffering silently. So we're opening the floor for all of that. So I'm going to take my breath. I'm going to throw the mic to Tawnie, and we're going to get back talking.
So like the flow of it. I mean, I would probably say everybody is not getting enough support or care that they need. Everybody has to fight with their insurance, whether you're going through a stroke or not. Like I was just with my grandparents. So I think this is a bigger issue, that it's like the people who are sick and not feeling well, like expecting them to also be the ones to advocate for themselves is, it's so backwards. Like it doesn't make sense. And what I've learned is it isn't fair, but the more you can come with all your records, you can have support, you can also ask other survivors. Like I wish I would have advocated more for speech there. I mean, I asked for speech and OT and they were like, you're good enough. So I know. And then, people always ask, why did you, oh, I thought you said neurofeedback worked really well. I did. I loved it, but my insurance didn't cover it. It was expensive. So I stopped doing it. Like how many of us have stories like that where you have, and let me know, you had something worked really well. I was like, how can I not get acupuncture or massages when I'm a chronic migraine sufferer since I was 15? And I've now had one big brain aneurysm. We got an update on that, but that I think needs to be this whole other
No, listen. We talk about everything. That's the topic as well. So if you were waiting to see Tawnie's news about this second brain, which would have been possibly the third one.
So second brain aneurysm. So this actually goes along with advocating for yourself. So I know all of us have been told, get a second opinion. It's your life, your history, whatever. And so, but I was always like, it's fine. This is good enough. I was going to fly back for my angiogram follow-up. And I know a lot of you guys who have had angiograms, and I know at the end of the day, I will do whatever I need to do. However, I went to another neurosurgeon out here in California because I was like, I need to have a team out here. And they also suggested an angiogram. And finally, oh my God, sorry, my dog is shaking the whole table. Squirrel brain. And I finally got referred to another doctor and who was closer, and he looked at everything and he said, why aren't we doing a CT angiogram? So first of all, that's what I wanted. Like, why can't we just scan me? Why I'm sorry, but I don't want anybody up in my brain. I would prefer not to have that happen. Now, if I still have to have an angiogram, obviously I'll do it. Those of you guys who have had multiples, you're a badass. I've had 2 and they've all resulted in brain surgery. So I don't really want to do that. Okay. But because of me advocating and finding a new doctor, not only is he doing like a treatment that I would prefer, he also, and I don't know if comments are frozen. Sorry, if I'm missing anybody's questions. But he also confirmed what I thought when they said I had a second brain aneurysm. That was like, oh no, that means my body's growing aneurysms. Like, that's okay, but that just puts me in a different percentage. And I was like, it sounds like since it was right by the other one, isn't it just maybe like you didn't get all of it? Kind of like with cancer, like you went in and you just didn't get all of it. Well, this doctor showed me with like a nice little diagram and was like, the problem when they didn't put the stent in there because they couldn't, he goes, the flow in your brain is really powerful. So he's like, so eventually it shoved all your coils up and that little aneurysm had space to like grow more. So it just got bigger. So I'm like, we only had 1 aneurysm. We've had 2 brain surgeries. So I'm just celebrating that and the fact that I finally found a doctor. So if you are with someone who, I've had a lot of bad neurosurgeons and neurologists, not always great experiences. So I really love to share when we do have good experiences and when you have someone that like appreciates you for advocating. Like, it was so refreshing. And so I just want to share that there are those doctors out there. And thank you for coming on. I see all the shallows over here on YouTube. And thank you. God bless you. And yes, very, very blessed. So it's great. And it's also kind of goes along with how it's very important to watch your words. Because I used to say, what if my coil slips? What if I grow another aneurysm? And I used to say all those what ifs. But then if you go back and you notice my second time around, I started saying, I'm going to say it wasn't 2 brain aneurysms. It was just 1 big one that they missed. Like, I kept saying that. And sure enough, now I'm like, we made it. We made it true. We're going to.
So I'm going to take that. So so many nuggets that Tawnie said. So that's why I like to let Tawnie talk and then I'll come back in. So I'm going to go with the last one. She just said she had to change her words, guys, because that takes it to our words are so powerful. And a lot of people always say, why are you always smiling? Why are you never in pain? Are you this? Even though, like I say, the words are so powerful, how you live and how you go about life works the same way. So I don't walk around every day and say, oh my gosh, I'm in so much pain. Oh my gosh, I'm in so much pain. Guess what? I choose to wake up every morning and say, thank you, Lord, for this breath of life. I want to smile today. I smile in spite of my pain. I smile in spite of what I'm going through, in spite of the thoughts that may be coming over my head. And the reason I choose to live that way is because I don't want to choose to speak those words of all the ailments and different things that my body may be going through. And because those words are so prevalent, you're speaking that into your life. You're speaking that into your mind. So I choose to speak life in spite of. And as I continue to speak life in spite of, that allows my smile to be brighter. That allows my days to be brighter. That allows me to, hey, keep pushing for more. So because we choose to do that, guys, that's what we try to tell you. That doesn't mean we don't have these pains or these things you're going through. We're just choosing to live them a different way. So that's what we call our invisible disabilities. And I would say invisible, the depression, the pains, the neuropathy that we deal with as stroke survivors. That, again, I don't talk about, we don't speak on every single day, because at the end of the day, I'm going to say it again, it's much more of a bigger blessing for me to say, thank you, Lord, for this breath of life. In spite of my pain. Thank you, Lord, that I can still walk, I can still move. Because I remember the beginning of my stroke, I had to help people get me out of bed. I had to help people to help me walk. I had to help me open the doors, all these things. So I'm so much more thankful on the things that I have accomplished, even though I still go through things. So that's why I live like that. So on that note, watch the words that you're saying, guys. So we are all blessed. And if you think about it, the word survivor, we're a survivor because there's so many people that had a stroke that did not survive. So many people that we can say, hey, I knew a stroke survivor, or my such and such, or this person had a stroke, and that was it. Guess what? We are stroke survivors. That's what we so often change it to say we are warriors. We're warriors of it all. And we're warriors because as a stroke survivor, this is a lifelong process that we're living with. lifelong recovery. So literally every single day, like I told you, I'm 5 years post. Every day I'm learning something new. I can still see changes in my body. And I'm smiling at different things. I don't always make them prevalent and say like, oh my God, I could do this now that I did before. But it's the little things that I noticed, which also goes back for videos. I think maybe I was live yesterday on TikTok. I said, start making note of the progressions that you have. So if you start journaling or something like that, you'll begin to notice, or because when you're stuck in that moment, you're like, oh, I don't see any recovery. I'm not, you think it's never going to happen. Like, oh my gosh, you guys are so blessed because you're there. Guess what, guys? We were at this point, we were like, hey, are we going to be disabled the rest of our life? Are we going to have to worry about somebody helping us to the bathroom? Are we going to have to worry about somebody helping us, go take step by step? Because we had those moments, but now we're here. So that's what we're trying to encourage you. So keep pushing, because as long as you have breath of life in your body, you can push for more. Because again, every single day is a process that you can gain more than where you were yesterday, every moment. And somebody said, life is too short, change is forever. I love that. Life is too short, change is forever. That is awesome. That's a great way to look at it, because I mean, yes, I want to be known as, hey, yes, survivor advocate. She had it. I remember when she was in a coma. I remember she couldn't walk. I remember when she was completely paralyzed on the left and nothing was working. Now, even though she can't feel that side, she's still able to make moves, still able to do things. She's still able to smile and encourage other people. That's what I would want to be recognized and noticed as, versus, hey, I remember that survivor that got online every day and complained about, oh, she's in pain, complained about her neuropathy, complained about depression. How is that encouraging me to keep pushing? No, y'all, we smiling in spite of it. That's what we want to encourage you to keep pushing with all the things you go. And someone said, wake up every day grateful, stroke survivor here. Oh, we love that. Yes, wake up every day grateful. That's the motto that I live, is to wake up every day grateful, y'all, in spite of everything we're going through.
I'm a stroke survivor. I refuse to give up. Trust God through the process. 100%. And that's what I am grateful being around so many survivors and warriors, is you see a lot of us, we could sit there and list all the things, but most of us choose, it's like, I got a second chance. I want to smile. I want to be happy. I want to enjoy things, and just like, okay, wow, I had cancer twice and I'm still here. So just being thankful that we got a second chance. And like you said, so many people, and also at your progress. And I know, right, and some of you early in your recovery, trust me, I was not so quick to be this. I was grateful. Don't get me wrong. I was very thankful. I was like, thank God I'm alive. But it was still kind of a lot of like, oh, why'd this have to happen? Like, it took retraining my brain. It took looking at all that I do have. And instead of looking at, man, my brain is broken now, I was like, my brain is so different. Like, do you know how many times I have been told, I've never thought of it that way, or, ooh, I've never been asked that question. And now I'm like, it's my freaking superpower. Like, I used to be embarrassed. Like, right now, I feel like I'm going to cry. I seriously asked my neurosurgeon, I remember, I'm like, we need to fix it. Like, what therapies do I need to go to? Because I can't be crying at work. I'm a teacher and it's embarrassing. And it was really funny. It took him actually saying, he goes, maybe it's also the fact that you almost died, you got a second chance, and now you're really feeling things. And I'm like, that, but I mean, also, we all know emotion regulation, hello, all over the map. But choosing to have that smile and choosing to put yourself around those people, but also knowing that I think it took a while. Like I like to say, I just don't unpack and stay there. Like, people go, how are you happy? I'm not happy all the time. Of course I'm not. Nobody is. Nobody can be. And if someone tells you they are, like, they're crazy. I go, like, one time I remember I was washing dishes and someone's like, why aren't you should smile. I'm like, a crazy person sits here bartending, like scrubbing a dish. Like, that's crazy.
No.
Yeah, no. So that's why speaking with other people, talking about it, getting through that, and also remembering that every day is a new day. And like, I promise you, I know it feels like you're going so slow. Every single one of us wishes we were further along in something, in our recovery, in life, in whatever. But like, I'm really, really learning, like, it is not It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and it's about the journey. It's not even about like all this other. So like stop and take a moment and just, you know, be there. I love it. We got some people.
What's up? What's up? We want to recognize Rampage as well. Over here said they had cancer twice, 22, now 37 with 3 kids. Listen, God is wonderful, amazing, merciful God. Listen, that's just a blessing, guys, with something as beautiful as that. Why would I choose to not wake up and choose to smile today? Thank God for the breath of life. We have somebody that's survivor on top of survivor on top of survivor 3 times. The devil tried to take them out and they survived. So they choose to live life with smiling, guys. And that's what this is about. Joe, what's up? What's up, brother? And then I'm going to come over here. We passed some people on Instagram. My bad.
Good, because I can't see.
I love what Senior Spud said. Best believe I'm making death work for me. Listen, that's right. Making death work for you. However you got to take it. Because that right there, like he's taking his body to another level with pushing past levels in the gym. Like he wanted to step up as a stroke survivor to get back to working out and to feel good about it. And then just think about it, guys. Think about it. And I said guys, but I was speaking of male and female. But think about the guys. So many things you go through as to say, hey, I'm a man. I want to feel masculine. I want to have that masculine energy. I want to be able to build that body. I want to, as a man, be able to protect my woman, things like that. So you all are going through a lot of mental, physical, so many emotional issues with being stroke survivors that say, hey, being a stroke survivor has now left me debilitated, possibly disabled, and then also weak in some areas. So that right there is your mental part that's trying to take over your body. Then you say, okay, I got to get control of my mental. Then I got to learn how to get control of my physical because I want to be a man. So all of those things. And I'm saying that for my boys, seniors, but so many of the men that are going through this stuff. I've had some men DM me and say, hey, like literally I wish you could talk to my girlfriend so she could be a little more understanding, to understand that I'm not trying to, like, I'm trying to get my strength. But the problem was her as a female, she's saying, like, you're a man. You should be stronger. To that female, listen here, honey. Listen here. There's so much that your man is going through that you got to understand. I'm praying that you have a little more grace. But really, I'm going to be honest, and I'm saying this on live. I'm praying that the Lord, if you ain't the one for that man, remove you out the way. Because if you can't take care of him in this situation, think about going further. What's the Bible say? Through death, through his part, and through marriage, through sickness and health. Like, listen, you are with this man, and instead of you encouraging him, you are really putting him down and say, hey, where's your manly strength? He had a whole stroke and survived. The blood of Jesus, love.
Life's already
I don't know. That just hit me, y'all.
No, having relationships where people make you feel bad, like my health already makes me feel shitty. My body already beats me up. I already feel it. So if you're not going to be supportive, do you think my husband loves that? Like he cooks most of the meals. I joke about it. I pull the Cardi B, like I don't cook, I don't clean. But like I'm sure he would love, but he knows, like he's even said it. Like I come home and I'll be like doing a whole bunch of things. And he's like, why are you doing that? Then you're going to be burnt out and you might get a migraine. So like it's so important to have a partner who realizes like that your strength and how you show up in a relationship can be different. Just because I don't cook for him doesn't mean that I don't love him. Just because I don't do these other things. So I just hope you realize that like love has to change. And I just know that when they're not feeling good, and like you said, it's till death do you part, or in sickness and in health. And I would like to know that when I'm not feeling good, that they would support me and not like be telling me that I need to be doing more.
Absolutely. And I mean, it comes from, so I have the heart because it comes from the lack of understanding what a stroke survivor goes through, lack of understanding their brain and how they heal. It's process that will heal, because you can think of a person, a loved one, a caretaker, and say, hey, well, they'll say they look normal again. They look the same. They look like they're okay. But why are they not moving as fast? Listen, they're still healing. Their brain is still trying to process this new idea of this body moving so slow. Like that person's mind may say, hey, I'm going to get up and run and go do this. But their body has to catch up with their mind. Their brain has to catch up with that. So as they're trying to get the willpower to say, hey, I'm going to go do this, we need you, loved one and caretaker, to give them that extra strength. Okay, baby, you got this. Or, okay, baby, I'll see you want to do this. Let me help you do this. or because it's a battle already, as Tawnie said, with our own physical health. And then for someone that's quote unquote a loved one caretaker, Lord, y'all, we need y'all to have a little more grace to understand that extra push is going to go a long way. I rather, and I'm gonna say it this way, I'd rather you see me every time you see me and say, "Hey, let me massage your hand. Hey, let's move this hand up over your head. Hey, let's wake up this hand. Let's do this." Or, "Hey, let's do an exercise," versus come in and say, "Hey, did you do any exercises for that arm today? Did you do any exercises to move your leg today?" Listen, I'm trying to calculate life to learn how to sit up, to breathe, and do the things for getting myself dressed. When you come in and say, "Hey, did you do this today?" That's more of badgering. That's not supporting me. That's more of, "Hey, literally, y'all, I'm telling you." So loved ones and caretaker, if y'all see this video later, "Hey, let's get up and hey, we about to go do something. We're about to go do your favorite this. Let me help this hand. Let me help this left side. Let me help this body. Let me do this. And let me take control of this side to give you a little more strength." Because therefore, that right there, that survivor is going to feel, "Hey, I have the support. I have the extra love." Like, wow, they actually see me. They see that I'm trying. And the thing is, the reality is, and when I say, even though you don't see them, you're not with them 24/7, you see that today they're still here. Their smile may not be 100%, but they're still smiling. They're still breathing. They're still trying, y'all. So it's the little things that matter, the little things. So I'm asking you to please try to, and really what it is praying that God gives you grace to try to understand and try to be able to cope with a survivor a little better, to understand the things we're going through. These are positive stories that show survivors and their families. Thank you. I just spoke to a survivor's family this morning about emotional regulation, and that's it's okay and normal for us to have emotions. That is very true. It is okay and normal for us to have emotions, but at the same time, it's a roller coaster of emotions that we deal with, and we can't always control those emotions. Like how we were just talking, Tawnie said she could cry in that moment, but literally, I think about it as a survivor. I can cry at the drop of a hat, and then it goes like, and I'm trying to think about it before, like, dang, could I do that before? It's emotional regulation, but it's emotional roller coaster because our brain, in the process of still healing after our brain has been through that trauma, we're trying to figure out and try to separate the emotions. It's an emotion of joy, happiness, sadness, all bottled up in one. And whatever one comes out first, that's just the way you get. So we're trying to control that here. But that's what I need y'all to understand. This process for us is going to be a process 10 times for a caretaker, because you're trying to learn, and a lot of times we can't express how we feel, y'all. So that's why we need your grace.
We can't express how we feel, and sometimes we don't know what we want. I think that was the hardest thing. Mom's like, what can I do? And sometimes you're like, I don't know, because you're relearning yourself. Like, it really is a new you. I mean, my husband now, he dated me before, and he said there are sometimes you are like two totally different people. It's very interesting. So I just implore, and like you said, I love that you offered up suggestions, because I know that it's really hard when you are regaining yourself and your independence, your tendencies to say no to things, to help. So if you're going to come in and say, "Do you want to work on those things?" What do you think they're going to say? No. Does anybody want to work on that? So I love that you're like, just come in and be like, "I'm going to hold your hand. We're going to do this." So just being there and being supportive and finding different ways that you can help them work on different things, because it's a lot. You're working on a lot of different things, and it may seem silly, like when you're some of the things that end up becoming, you don't even realize what is necessarily rehab. Like I was out there pulling weeds with my family, and it's like, oh, I guess I can't do that. That just made me have migraine. Oh, I can't do that. So like we're constantly learning. And that's a day-to-day thing too.
Yes. It is the day-to-day thing, guys. But I would say the most important thing to take from today, guys, because we cannot always speak of the things that our body is going through. So the easiest way for me to say is, for one, on both ends, as stroke survivors, we need to pray that God gives us more grace and patience. Loved ones and caretakers, friends, we need to pray that God gives you discernment and grace to understand that we cannot always speak. But easier ways to say, "Hey, let's do this. Don't ask me, because I'm going to tell you no. Tawnie's going to tell you no. The most survivors are going to say, "No, I don't need help." Come in and say, "Listen, let's do this together." let's work this hand. Let's do a massage. Let's do an exercise that you haven't done, and make it fun so it does not always feel like it's an exercise. Because a person, especially that's in rehab all day, for them to have to come home and the loved one to say, hey, let's do more rehab, that's not fun to them. Let's do something together that shows you that you have my support, basically, is what I'm saying. So, this is our time, y'all. I don't care where we at. I like to cut short when we talking too long. So, as Tawnie said, she left y'all with shout out to all of the supporters, loved ones, and caretakers. We are so grateful for you all. Shout out to our survivors and our warriors. Keep smiling in spite of what you are dealing with. Watch your words, because words are very important. We want to speak life into our body. We don't want to keep pushing ourselves down. So how can Tawnie and Tracey smile all the time? Listen. We choose to. It's a God-given gift. God has given us the gift to smile in spite of, and we know at the end of the day, God is in control of it all. So we're going to keep smiling, and that smile is going to, in turn, go from that physical on the outside to inside. We're smiling on the outside, and it starts to make our inside feel good, guys. That's how we do that. So, all right, we love y'all, and we'll see y'all next week.
Love you guys. Bye.